Welcome again. We're here to talk about language hunting and specifically creating a language hunting community. My name is Willem.
I'm chewing ice. I'm Brian.
So, we've talked through a lot of issues of language hunting in these past videos. Now we want to talk about what the goal is. What's the big vision of this? The big vision of language hunting is to create language hunters, right? We don't want to curriculumize the entire language, have a game for every single grammar construction and situation and weird aspect of the language. No, what we want to do is create game players and game creators, game leaders, language hunters who casually, with fluent speakers and other language hunters, can play through all aspects of the language ad hoc on the fly, naturally, right? Basically maintain and create immersion, and which we know is going to be our fastest learning. So what this means is a language hunter is both a speaker and a teacher and a game player and a game leader, right? They're all these things together. So we as game leaders, we want to get rid of that responsibility as soon as possible for being in charge of teaching the language, which is a trap, right? If you start like a language night, which we have many times for this and for Irish and other languages, and you keep responsibility for all the games or how they're led, building them, everybody's going to look to you like a nest of baby birds and just say, feed me, right? And you'll be drowning in work. What we do is distribute responsibility for those games.
And it really helps those who are learning the game to build more confidence in the skills that they are accumulating through play. And William's right, when the responsibility lies on one person to continually create gameplay, it drains them of energy to be able to feed into the game. And so when you divest yourself of the importance of being the sole person who's distributing the language and you move it around the table to everyone else who's playing, they build confidence in the skills of sourcing the language that they want, figuring out if it's correct, maybe passing it to a native speaker or someone who has a lot of language skill to see if it's a correct question and answer scheme. But it's a great way to get people who are learning to build their confidence in what they're doing and what it means to be language hunting.
Yeah, and one way to do that is to have a different member of your language night, language lunch, language club, however you're doing it. Have a different member own each square. One person will be in charge of what is that for that evening or that week, that month. Another person will be who, where, how many, right? All around the board. And we all know, like, okay, that person has made sure to be prepared. They know that game in and out.
They have their props and their setup.
They already have all their own props and their setup, right?
It's an engagement that really needs to be made for any language learner, rather to be that baby bird who's always constantly expecting to be fed, that they're going out and really hunting for their own bits of language to then apply to the game night, to share it and to spread it around the table. And that's really an important feature to have within a minority language community in particular, where the more resources available and the more eyes that are out there and ears listening and looking for the language, then the stronger your gameplay is going to be and more likely accurate because of it.
Yeah, really, we're talking about language learning for anarchists here and community building, right? This isn't, you're not looking for somebody to be in charge, because if they leave, it's the show's over, right? You want a resilient group of people who, no matter who gets swapped out or who has life stuff that gets in the way, the language stays alive, right?
And that's happened a few times within the Scots Gaelic community here, is that our fluent speaker, for whatever reason, wasn't available, and we didn't figure out until the very last minute that he wasn't going to be available. And so we depended on ourselves and people who were sitting at the table to pull out individual games, and it made us feel really proud that we were able to remember the exchanges, to pass them off, and then to change them to maybe jog our memory about numbers, colors, objects, first, second, third person. So it really was, we were learning even though we had one language teacher who has been helping us, but we have also been learning through that how to language hunt. And so when he wasn't there, all of a sudden, we were able to pull ourselves through a game and have fun while doing it.
Awesome. All right. So that's the long and the short of building language hunters, not language learners, and building communities, not classes, right? We'll see you next time.
Slan.